Yo, we gotta check this one out, man. I saw this video, I saw this title, I had to click it, and we're gonna check it out, man. So this guy, he did something very bad. So let's check it out.
On June 30th, my sister decided to make the only correct choices in episode 1 of season 1 of the Walking Dead games, and for that her face will be mutilated further than necessary.
That is strange, man. What is that? What the fuck did I just listen to?
If you couldn't tell, that beginning clip there was pretty insane because it shows a young man by the name of Nicholas Prosper who did something extremely heinous. In this clip, he can be seen talking about how he loves The Walking Dead, his sister made a terrible choice, and because of this, he's going to do something horrible to her, but not only her, his family as well. So for some context, this case actually...
That is so bizarre. That is extremely bizarre. This guy literally has some mental issues. There's no way you could be, rational and do something like this. It's just, I cannot believe this. I cannot.
took place relatively recently on September.
I mean, obviously it happened, but it's just something that is unbelievable. But it's just how crazy this is.
13th of 2024. This is when Nicholas Prosper, the young man seen in the original clip at the beginning of this video, decided to take the life of his mother, Juliana, not only her though, his two siblings, Giselle and Kyle. Now what Nicholas had done here is something known as familicide, which is disturbing in and of itself, essentially taking the lives of family members in quick succession, one after the other. But to understand exactly why this case unfolded the way it did, we need to have a lot more backstory, and this case is much more disturbing and deeply layered than you might have thought.
Yeah, because no way but we'll see.
So Nicholas Prosper was the oldest sibling out of his family at just 18 years old, and he had a pretty unhealthy obsession with Walking Dead, and specifically the game Season 1.
I also recall a video by Living Echoes on YouTube, Best of Lee and Clementine Definitive Edition. It was a compilation. And he decided to kill Larry in front of Clementine. And then I later learned he decided to kill the St. John's in front of Clementine.
In this game, there are a variety of different characters, but there was one character in particular that he had a very close connection with mentally, and that was Clementine. So for those of you that are not familiar with Walking Dead the game, it was first released back in April of 2012 to Steam, so it is relatively old. I remember playing this back when I was 13 or 14 years old with my friend.
Yeah, man. Damn, it's just crazy how old this game is. Because I remember when this game's coming out. When this game came out, and it's crazy how this game is now, man. It makes me feel old, man. Because I remember when everybody was playing it and stuff.
You're in a zombie wasteland. You see this world through the eyes of the main character, who you play as, and you have a secondary side character by the name of Clementine, who's only 8 years old. In this game, you're confronted with a variety of very different choices, and these are difficult ones as well, and they will directly impact the characters around you and how they see you. When this game was released, it was an immediate hit. It was a 10 out of 10 in a lot of people's books, and that's for one simple reason. It's a very emotional game, and you build a very deep connection with your sidekick, Clementine.
I'm gonna be honest, brother. The ending of this game got me crying. I started crying at the ending of this game. That's how big this game was. I consider this game at the time one of my favorite games.
Clementine. The ending I'm not going to spoil, but it's extremely sad. If you do play it, you'll see what I'm talking about. And a lot of people felt very bad about this ending. But Nicholas took it a step further here, and instead of most people getting over this after playing it, he built a very deep obsession with the character Clementine, bordering on falling in love, I would say.
Oh, Jesus.
This obsession with just an 8-year-old female...
Jesus, guy was obsessed with the 8-year-old female character in the video game. That is already sus.
Character in this case, literally just pixels on a screen, is what paved the way for Nicholas to do these horrible actions to his family because they played the game incorrectly.
Jesus Christ.
So now that you guys know the backstory behind the Walking Dead game, the mechanics of how it works, and the fact that Nicholas was obsessed with Clementine, we can fast forward to 2024, where Nicholas would allow his sister, Giselle, to hop onto his PC and play his favorite game. In the game, she was confronted with the same exact difficult decisions that everyone goes through, and one of those decisions is what caused this entire case to happen in the first place. The situation that happened in the game at this point was very simple. There was a side character who had suffered a heart attack, and you had two choices. Either try to take this side character to get some help and hopefully save them, or put them out of their misery. Bear in mind though, this side character, no matter what choice you'd made here, was going to pass away, but Giselle made a mistake and chose to put the character out of its misery, which then impacted Clementine and made Nicholas furious. At the time, I'm not sure if Nicholas concealed his anger, but his family didn't think anything was up, and shortly after this incident, Nicholas would go to social media where he would post this video of him seeing anger, the one that you guys watched at the beginning, but here it is again.
I am the chosen one, chosen by Clementine. I am guided, as Christians are guided by Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this guy is definitely mentally ill, bro. I just don't know how his family didn't realize this guy is mentally ill. Maybe he is. Maybe he's taking medication. Maybe he's not. I just don't know. But there's one thing for certain. This guy, especially someone wearing a stupid ass bucket hat.
And there will be no more killings of Larrys in front of Clementine, no more killings of St. John's in front of Clementine.
Yeah, so
and overall, Clementine's content will be preserved, maximized. That's the message I want to give out.
And in this video posted to social media, he clearly makes some pretty insane statements, but one of the ones that stands out the most to me is that he likens Clementine to Jesus Christ and God, and that he is the chosen one to do what Clementine wants. He talks about this YouTuber who also makes the wrong choices, and he's clearly angry at that as well. So all of these things here to me are very indicative of something very mentally wrong going on in this individual. Now,
yep.
Giselle did make this critical mistake, in quotation marks, on June 30th of 2024, and this whole entire case happened on September 13th of 2024, so it did take Nicholas a couple of months to get his situation figured out, try to find the weapon that he was going to use, and commit these acts that he had potentially been planning.
That is insane.
There's really not a whole lot of information as to how premeditated this whole entire thing was, but it is clear that Nicholas was suffering mentally in this case.
And it was clearly premeditated, brother. He was clearly planning it.
And one thing that we do know is that he had illegally purchased a shotgun and a knife for this, and this whole incident happened in England, so these weapons...
Wait. He what? He illegally? It's in England, obviously. It ain't America, so that's crazy. How did he bought them illegally, though?
Shotgun and a knife for this, and this whole incident happened in England, so these weapons are very typical of something like this to happen. Now at this point, you guys are getting a very deep look as to how dark and twisted this case is, but it gets even worse here because Nicholas was a very strong believer in the fact that children had the ability to consent, and yes, I mean in that way.
Jesus Christ, hold up.
But it gets even worse here because Nicholas was a very strong believer in the fact that children had the ability to consent, and yes, I mean in that way. For quite some time, according to my sources, Nicholas would frequently visit a subreddit by the name of Watch People Unalive. And in this subreddit, he would have debates all the time about child/adult relationships, and he would use pseudo-intellectual language to try to get his point across. After quite some time, and a variety of these different comments left in this subreddit, the mods did decide to ban him, which is a good thing, but it still doesn't change the fact that this is something that he strongly believed in. This makes it even more disturbing, the fact that he was obsessed with Clementine, an 8-year-old. In the aftermath of this case, Nicholas was of course arrested just 600 meters away from the crime scene, still in possession of the shotgun that he had used, and the only surviving member of Nicholas's family was his father Ray, who was not at home at the time, and still appears to love Nicholas. He shouted to him, "I still love you, son, it's not your fault, okay?"
How is it not? Oh my God. Incredible.
Now, in terms of legal proceedings, Nicholas is currently being tried for 3 counts of the big M word, illegally purchasing a shotgun, illegally owning a shotgun and being in possession of it, and illegally having a bladed article in a public place. As of now, we are going to have to wait to see what happens during these proceedings. The date was originally set for December of 2024, but has since been pushed back to March of 2025. So we won't know whether or not justice is properly.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
In this case, for a little while at least. Now, in my opinion, I really wouldn't be too surprised if Nicholas's defense tried to argue for insanity here, because to me, it's pretty apparent, in fact, very apparent, that Nicholas had huge mental issues leading up to when this incident happened and even after this incident happened. No one in their right mind is going to be obsessed with an 8-year-old character who's just pixels on a screen and think that that is basically the word of God and that you're their disciple. Also, I'm not too sure whether or not this situation could have been prevented, but this does bring up a pretty good point that I've talked about in numerous videos in the past. This is why mental health is so important. If you know somebody that might be changing their attitude very quickly, or they're being more withdrawn into themselves, make sure that you check on them, because you never know. These types of things are extremely rare, but it can happen, and clearly it does happen. So that is the official breakdown for the Nicholas Prosper case.
Yeah, man, so there you go, man. Nicholas Prosper is definitely gonna get justice served from all the victims. Oh, that's crazy, man. The father was lucky he wasn't there, because he would have gotten it too, man. So I don't know why the hell he's shouting. I understand why it's his son, but at the same time, even if that was me, if you were my son and you would have done something like that, you're out. You're disowned. I don't know you anymore. Come on, dog. Easy. I don't know, man. Because especially if you were there, you would have been gone too, my friend. You would have been 6 feet under as well. So hey, be lucky you weren't there, son, because you would have been, you would have gotten your head blown off too. So yeah, man, crazy, man. In England, which is such a rarity that happens in England, you never see any cases like this in England involving weapons, like guns and shotguns and stuff like that. You normally it's more like knife attacks and stuff like that, because obviously it's so much harder to get weapons in England that is in America. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and let me know guys what you think about this case. Pretty crazy, and this guy is definitely gonna go to life in prison. Whether he goes to mental, it don't matter. He's never gonna be free ever again. That is for certain. All right, so yeah.